LeBron's not going to win the championship. The only question for LeBron is when he doesn't win it, how much does he blow up this organization and get a real star player alongside he and Anthony Davis? Folks, we have a history with LeBron. He's 3-6 in the finals. When he has help, he gets the 3. When he doesn't have enough help, he gets the 6. They're not winning because they just lost Avery Bradley. And I know what you're saying. What's Avery Bradley? He's a piece. LeBron's not winning the championship. It's not a knock on LeBron. He didn't have enough pieces. Is everybody forgetting that Avery Bradley is their third best defensive player? That he would have been on the floor in the final few minutes of these playoff games. Like when they go to the bubble now, if there's 3.5 minutes left and they're tied with the Clippers, Avery Bradley would have been on the floor. He plays 24 to 25 minutes a night, gives you 8.5 points, 44% from the field, 36% on threes, and he is their third best defender after Anthony Davis and LeBron, according to defensive win shares. He would have been on the floor, not Jared Cook or Jared Dudley or Quinn Cook. So now what it comes down to is more on LeBron's shoulders, and we've seen that happen 6 times in the NBA Finals, and he's lost each one. That's not in any way a shot at LeBron James. The only question for the Lakers is when they lose to the Clippers or Milwaukee or Boston. And I think Boston really has too many good players, and I think the Clippers have too many good players. Then what does LeBron do next? But right now, without Avery Bradley, who would be on the floor late in games, a two-way player, a defendable veteran, high IQ, this is LeBron's kind of guy. And that's why he's playing for the Lakers. It's LeBron's kind of guy. They had all the young guys. They move out. He gets Avery Bradley. It's not a coincidence. They started moving older veteran players in. Danny Green, LeBron wanted him. He was on the market. Avery Bradley, LeBron wanted him. He was on the market. Why? Veteran players, high IQ, get the game, play both ways. And Avery's gone. The question's going to become, this is not about, anytime you say they'll win it because of LeBron, folks, you can't depend solely on LeBron. And this is one of these stories in sports nobody's paying attention to. Avery Bradley's a real player. He is a real player on a championship team. 24 minutes, 9 points a game, 44% from the field, third best defensive player. So now the rotation, the Lakers' playoff hopes are down to LeBron, AD, Danny Green, and cross your fingers. That's not a championship winning formula.
Final seconds here in this NBA season. The respect from those two. And that's it. It's over. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers conquer the bubble, and banner number 17 will soon hang in the rafters.
Year 2 title. Went back to Cleveland, year 2 title. Came to Los Angeles, year 2 title. That's what he does. Michael needed Scottie Pippen. LeBron just needs a ball. I don't know who the greatest player ever is. I know who the greatest foundational piece in the history of American sports is, and it's LeBron James. He is the greatest foundational piece in the history of American sports. 9 finals, 10 years, system doesn't matter, coach doesn't matter, franchise doesn't matter, teammates don't matter. He won when the second best player on the team was a point guard, Kyrie Irving. He won when the second best player on the team was a wing, Dwayne Wade. He just won when the second greatest player was a big, Anthony Davis. Michael Jordan needed Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan needed Phil Jackson. LeBron needs the damn ball. He doesn't need a system. He doesn't need a coach. He doesn't need a Robin. He had a small Robin. He had a wing Robin. He had a big Robin. It doesn't matter. Yeah. This kid's a really, he's better than Ricky Rubio, but he doesn't look special to me.
I think, Colin, with him, it's you have to remember, too, kind of who he's playing against, right? So he's only 18 years old, and he's been playing at this top division now in Europe for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So he's a little more tested than, the traditional European prospect. There was a clip that kind of made the rounds during the conference finals when I was out, I think I was in Houston, and it was he had a step-back 3 that kind of had everybody oh, wow, he stepped back to an NBA distance. He looked kind of like Harden, and it's I just wish it was faster.
That's my takeaway. He doesn't pop athletically.
Yeah, I think Marvin Bagley's interesting too.
Okay, now I would draft him number 1. He's the Duke kid.
Yeah.
He is the one guy I would say, all right, that's my number 1 pick. Because to your point,
he's like an offensive genius already, and he should have been a senior in high school last year.
And he
did
got
that
better.
in the ACC.
Every time I saw him, Dan, he was better.
Yeah.
The next time, so I'm like, okay, he's got a work ethic. Number 1, I'm Cleveland. To me, this is the easiest decision since Andrew Luck. Sam Darnold, blue-collar work ethic, big, trunky, arm, feet, coachable. This is a no-brainer to me. Big, thick. Hey, by the way, can we put up my mock draft?
Ugh.
What do you mean, ugh?
I mean, it's average.
By the way,
you have Rosen going to the Giants
because they're idiotic. They'll never have a number 2 pick.
Gosh, that's an arrogant statement. Like, he knows better than the Giants, right? Like,
hey,
he's
I'm not
sitting here
interviewing
telling
for a
America
job
he
now.
knows
I'm just
better
being
than
a
the
radio
Giants.
guy. You're going to tell me Carson Wentz?
Just that answer. It's just so arrogant. You know better than the Giants.
The next 10 years, you're going to face Carson Wentz 20 times. Eli's 30.
I don't even know what Wentz is. Is he going to be healthy? Philadelphia is just going to like send their Super Bowl winning quarterback Nick Foles and just
you know how many
send him out to pasture?
You know how many GMs in the NFL right now are
you
telling
have Denver taking Calvin Ridley
because Denver's going to get Kirk Cousins.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty. It is amazing. Life, business, Wall Street, Main Street, sports. How often the great companies, they deserve credit, but have feasted on poorly run companies. To be great, you deserve a lot of credit, but it's remarkable how often the great teams and the great businesses feast on poorly run contemporaries. And the story this morning, Peter King's column, he is being told by a source that Cleveland Browns general manager John Dorsey will not draft Sam Darnold. They'll draft Josh Allen. And who will benefit? The New York Giants, who have been relevant forever, who have 4 Super Bowl titles. They will absolutely take Sam Darnold. By the way, there's a real psychology here. Cleveland passed on Carson Wentz, and the Browns have very low sports self-esteem. Carson Wentz was a no-name kid, huge arm, great at the combine, big, tall, athletic. Carson Wentz is Josh Allen, except way better. And Cleveland passed on him and was mocked, and people lost jobs, and they were ridiculed. And Cleveland is now saying, we're not going to let it happen again. What quarterback in this draft shares the most characteristics with Carson Wentz, who they passed on? Josh Allen. But I will remind you, let's put Josh Allen and Sam Darnold's numbers next to each other. Yeah, Sam played with better people, but played a significantly tougher schedule. Completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, passer rating, wins, loss, yards per attempt. It's not even close. It is not even close. This is your classic low sport self-esteem franchise passing on Carson Wentz and trying to make amends with Josh Allen. Because everybody's grading the draft classes. And you want to know who won the draft? The teams that got franchise quarterbacks. Arizona got a kid as good as Josh Rosen at number 10. The New York Jets got the best quarterback, in my opinion, at number 3. They won the draft. Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold will change the franchise. 200 people in those organizations that would have been fired will now retain employment. They'll sell tens of millions of dollars in merchandise, game day revenue, not to mention free agent wide receivers and offensive linemen. Players will choose the Jets in Arizona and Buffalo if Josh Allen can play, and Baltimore if Lamar Jackson's as great as everybody tells me. But I look at the Jets today, and they were the butt of jokes Wednesday. I look at Arizona. I was rolling my eyes Wednesday. But I look at those teams today, and my grade is A for awesome. H for headache. No more headaches. Everybody wants to grade this stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how great Jacksonville's defense is. So that's my draft for the grade. Jets in Arizona not only got stability and franchise quarterbacks, they got them an incredible value. The Jets got the best quarterback, not at the number 1 pick, not at the number 2 pick, the number 3 pick. And to get somebody as gifted as Josh Rosen at 10, that's a franchise changer at number 10. And they entered the draft with what appeared, due to their limitation of draft picks, to have no shot at changing the course of their franchise. And that's exactly what they did. And that is the Sam Darnold I saw 4 years ago at a USC practice. And I came out the very next day on the air and I said, folks, we got another Andrew Luck. I just saw him for the first time. He's 18. And I sat there with, the time, Steve Sarkisian was USC's coach. And I walked over to Steve Sarkisian. It was the first practice. And I said, that kid is, and Sark looked at me and went, don't say it. I know what you're thinking. And I said, he looks like him, plays like him, he's big like him. I've never said he has the innate skills of Andrew Luck. Cleveland passed on Sam Darnold. New York Jets, when Brady retires in 2 years, you'll have the quarterback who was number 1 on virtually every other board not named Cleveland. Of my 8 contacts that I use regularly in this league, head coaches, GMs, regional scouting directors, Darnold was number 1 on every board. He was not a flawless prospect, but he is such a perfect fit for the New York Jets, and I'll tell you why. Go look at the history of the city of New York. Who goes into New York and can handle the media? Derek Jeter, Mark Messier, Eli Manning, Aaron Judge, Mariano Rivera, Phil Simms, Sam Darnold. Humble, head down, talk but never give you a quote. You go to bed at night knowing you'll never get in trouble. New York has had a lot of players who were great, but A-Rod was often eaten alive. It got into his head. He struggled sometimes in the postseason. New York is tough. It is brutal. And there is a lineage, there is a line here of the people who work for a long time in New York. And they're all like Eli and Jeter and Mariano and Messier. They are relatable, though they're millionaires. They're likable, they're beloved, they're trusted. And when you go to bed at night, you never have to worry about a call at 3 a.m. at a nightclub about Sam Darnold. And Brady's going to retire in 2 years, and Miami will probably have Tannehill. Buffalo will have Josh Allen. We'll see how that works. No idea who New England will have, and you'll have Sam Darnold. A source told me this morning, and I trust it because this is somebody who I've relied on for years, Cleveland didn't draft Darnold because they thought it would just be trying to turn around the franchise too big for him. And there was massive disagreement in the Browns selection room. Some Baker, some Josh Allen. They thought it was too big for him. Okie dokie. Congratulations, Jets. I'm just going to give you my feeling on 5 best picks and 5 worst picks. Here we go. Let's start with my 5 best picks in last night's first round. Number 1, I'm going to tell you right now, it's the New York Jets getting Sam Darnold. First of all, they were 28th in offense last year, 24th in passing, and this is why it's so great. Josh McCown is a guy that can win games and is a veteran. He is has a reputation as an incredible teammate and a guy that will teach Darnold, as he'll probably sit and learn for a year. This is just a home run. They got the best quarterback in the draft. On every board I talked to was Darnold. No baggage. Unlike Baker, he's a better athlete. He's a bigger athlete. He's got the arm. I've never said that Sam Darnold had a great arm. He's really mature. He's not posing shirtless. He's not doing any of that nonsense. Home run. Arizona, I would say, won the first day of the draft. They entered the day needing a quarterback, the only NFC team without a future quarterback long term. They had the 15th pick and not a lot of extra picks and cachet to move up. And they landed Josh Rosen, who is, according to Greg Cosell, the most NFL refined quarterback in the draft. By the way, this staff is a perfect fit for him. Mike McCoy is an adaptable, creative offensive coordinator, great with young quarterbacks. And Steve Wilks, the head coach, is a high IQ guy. Again, very adaptable, Josh Rosen won the draft. The Arizona Cardinals won day one. Pete Carroll wakes up this morning and it's got Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo, and now Josh Rosen, 3 elite quarterback talents. And now Josh Rosen, who will win the starting job. He will win the starting job in Arizona. Sam Bradford, they brought him in. It won't be real long. Josh Rosen's going to win that starting job really, really fast. Congrats to Arizona, and congrats to Josh Rosen, who's going to win that starting job. By the way, you know, we talked about this. The quarterback in this draft that he really reminded me of was Aaron Rodgers. If you watched last night, he even looks a little like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers went to very academic Cal. He went to very academic UCLA, known more for academics than football. Who dropped in the first round? Aaron Rodgers. Who was the quarterback here, the most gifted that dropped? Josh Rosen. I mean, this thing looks so much like Aaron Rodgers. It looks so much like Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers and Josh Rosen, California high schools, you know, high IQ, went to academic powers, had moments in their college career, though they weren't on winning powers, they blew everybody away. Political, outspoken, can sometimes be a little condescending, and both drop in the first round. And both came into their draft as the really unique arm talent in the draft. And I'll say it again, Tebow 2.0 is coming, and it's already starting today. It's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's college coach, Bobby Petrino, is likely to be the best offensive coach he has for the next 10 years. Bobby Petrino's he's probably the best, he is. He's the best offensive coach in college football. He's one of the best offensive minds, period, in football. There's a real chance Lamar Jackson had his numbers elevated in college from a coach he'll never duplicate. Same thing with Tim Tebow. The best coach Tim Tebow ever had was in college, Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's better than Josh McDaniels. Urban Meyer's better than Rex Ryan. Urban Meyer's better than wherever Tebow landed. So this is going to be Tebow 2, which is what I think Lamar Jackson's going to be, which is more of a project than a prospect, capable of winning games in the NFL, maybe a playoff game, but I don't see it as a 15-year sustainable starting quarterback in the league. Felt the exact same way for Tim Tebow. Lamar Jackson, I rushed home to watch him, just like I used to rush home to watch Tim Tebow. And I've said, Lamar Jackson's a more talented version of Tim Tebow, and all I get is pushback. All I get is pushback. And I say, no, you watch what's going to happen. Baltimore and Denver were proud franchises with Super Bowls, getting very frustrated with their head coach on the hot seat. Both guys were overdrafted. Both guys are projects, not prospects. Tim Tebow was a project. He was never a prospect. Lamar Jackson's a project. He's not Sam Darnold. He's not Josh Rosen. You watched them last night. He's not even close. He's not even close. He's not close to RG3 at this point. He's not. Forget Flacco. RG3's not as good as Flacco. Lamar's not even close to RG3. Lamar Jackson's not ready to play in the NFL as a starting quarterback. He's not as good as RG3. He's not close. He looked nervous. The best moments were when he ran, just like college. He's a project. He's not a prospect. He was overdrafted. He was a second or a third round guy that you give 1.5 to 2 years of development, and then I think he can, become something. I checked on Twitter last night. Lamar was pretty awful, and all I heard was, we got a new starting quarterback in the NFL. Welcome to 2018. He's not even close to RG3. He is hope. And now, add Twitter and stir. Lamar Ball is what we may be calling him by November. Of course Lamar's not close. I've never thought he was close. That's why I keep calling him a project. I never call him a prospect. Sam Darnold's a prospect. Okay, Baker Mayfield's a prospect. They'll play this year, and they'll be able to move the chains. They'll be able to go. No. This is a project. This kid should not play for 1.5 years. Maybe next year, end of the year, put him in, have some fun. But, man, last night, as predicted, on Twitter, I'm already seeing, yeah, man. I'm like, are you watching this game? Are you? Ben Simmons is different. No, he can't shoot. But Magic Johnson couldn't either for the first 2 years he was in this league. You're never going to rely on Ben Simmons to be your leading shooter, but he'll be dropping 23 a night like Magic Johnson, and on other nights giving you 17 assists like Magic. And on some nights, after an injury, he'll move into the 4 spot or center and play that too. This kid's an all-timer. I told you out of college, I didn't care that he couldn't make the tournament. I didn't care what happened at LSU. He is 6'9", and the closest thing I've seen to Magic Johnson. He is remarkable. Now, does he have Magic's understanding of the game, acumen, basketball intelligence, life intelligence? I don't know. He's a kid, 21 years old. But I've been told for years and years of the Marburys, the Westbrooks, do you really want to play with those guys? Ben Simmons will not have to be a great shooter. Shooters are going to want to play with him. That's the greatness of Magic. That's the greatness of LeBron, and it's the greatness of Ben Simmons. It's an incredibly inclusive style. We pay way too much attention to vertical jumps, slam dunks, and long threes. Somebody's got to pass. Magic, LeBron, and Simmons are going to be 20-plus scorers a game. Those are career averages, and Simmons won't have to be a great scorer. I know, Philadelphia, you think I hate you. I don't. You're just better at this point than I thought you would be. And it's not about Embiid. It's about Ben Simmons. And I wondered when Ben Simmons was playing. And I am more interested in watching Ben Simmons tomorrow night than I am watching LeBron tonight. I said it. Hey, LeBron, Ben Simmons is here. We're all good. You know I love LeBron. I've talked about him incessantly for a decade. I still think he is absolutely remarkable. But for the first time in 10 to 12 years, I look at the NBA, which I've watched for 4 decades, and I say this now with Ben Simmons. Hey, LeBron, we're good, bro. You can go. You don't have to. You can hang around. Still great, but you can go. We're all good here. But when I watch Ben Simmons play, and again, I don't know if the Sixers are special, but when I watch Ben Simmons play, it is just a gut feeling. That is something between LeBron and Magic. The future of the league to me, and I wouldn't be shocked if they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. And at this point, the Cavs are so bad defensively, maybe they could win the East. League's good now.